Tuesday. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Minutes approved. All right, Zach, you're up
I
first.
said not yet. Did they show you?
It's complicated.
All right, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Zach.
We've got a rezoning request for y'all. So this is Jamie Gray petitioning to rezone about half an acre around 2678 21st Street from neighborhood commercial to mixed residential 1. This is in Council District 2. So there's the location of the property. I can show you what it looks like today. So here's the zoning. So MR1 is around it. And you can see from these photos here, it used to be a little commercial. I'm not sure what it was previously, but clearly has not been utilized for a while, which is why it's zoned neighborhood commercial. The applicant wants to rezone to MR1, which is in the area as well, to construct 4 single-family homes. And this is kind of what they're proposing. And that's pretty much it. So it does conform to framework for the use and the zoning request, as you can see on the future land use character map, and then it was unanimously recommended for approval.
Is this for sale?
I am not sure. I believe so, though. I believe that they'll have 4 homes. I'm not sure what their future plans are for those.
They'll be here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any further questions for Zach?
Thanks.
Okay. All right, Antonius.
No alcohol for the Tennessee game, I know.
Try not to. All right, good afternoon, Council and Mayor. We have 3 applicants today. The first one is OVG Alumni Club Holdings, LLC, DBA, the University Club of Alabama. They're applying for a special retail more than 30 days. This one was presented at a committee meeting last week. It's a change of ownership located at 421 Queen City Avenue. Shows you your area map. And it was recommended to be presented to you guys during committee last week. Again, applying for special retail more than 30 days. All right. My next applicant is Snack Men LLC, DBA Duffel. They're applying for retail beer off premises only, retail table wine off premises only, located at 618 14th Street. There's the area map of the location.
Central right there.
Parkview Plaza.
Parkview, yes, sir. And the next applicant I have is the Hank Poor Foundation, DBA L on Wheels, applying for a 240 special nonprofit tax exempt, located at 4205 North Ridge Road. And that's all I have.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, sir. Mayor Maddox,
No, sir, I don't have anything to report this week, but we do have 2 items for executive session.
could be a long one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty. Miss Brandy?
All right, so I've got 2 boards to go over with you guys. Well, 3 actually, but these 2 are the ones that we've accepted resumes for over the last couple of weeks. This first one is gonna be Para. If you guys remember, we had 1 seat that was vacated by Miss Peggy Hogue that we accepted resumes for. In front of you, you'll have the list of all of the applications that you guys received, and we just need a recommendation to fill that seat.
For just one, right?
Just 1.
Yes.
And Mr. Diner, I normally stay far away from the council department, but as someone who's been very involved in youth recreation, as many of you have been, there's, my hope is somebody who has a really good understanding to help us take our youth sports to a next level. I really would like the council to lean in that direction. There's a couple of very good applicants up there that I shared with you some thoughts in an earlier email. But youth sports and youth recreation, and I've really seen this with Eli, it's such a way to grow your community. It's such a way to keep our young people active and engaged. And this council has done a fantastic job of supporting middle school and high school sports. Keeping our young people engaged at a young age, to me, is important. And working with Para and having a board member focus on that to to take what they do today and let's figure out how to get to the next level. So I would just encourage the council to put that into their calculus for what it's worth. Again, that's the last I'll say. It's y'all's decision, and I'll back off. I'm just sharing that as a constituent.
Well, I think that's a extremely valid point, that people actually have attended ball games and knows how how it actually runs. There's 14 applicants. Does the council wish to throw
I would
out
like
some
to
names now or
recommend
wait a week?
the last name on there, Stephen. Stephen's a good guy, he's coached, and he knows finances. He understands finances. And I've served on another board with him, and he's a good guy.
Seems like what I've heard from Cassius too, and that Stephen seems to be the majority of the wishes of the council. Is that true? Or would you like to wait a week, or would you like to put Stephen's name up? Stephen?
Got
Okay,
Stephen.
we'll go with Stephen Deal.
All
And
right.
then,
And then the other one that you guys have on the back side of that page, we also accepted resumes for zoning board of adjustments. If you guys remember, a little while ago, back in September, we had a couple of movements that needed to happen on ZBA. So we talked about moving, or actually just reappointing Michelle Coley and Tim Gillum, and then moving Mary Catherine Holt to fill the unexpired term of Mr. Eatman. So that would leave 2 supernumerary positions vacant. We did not receive a resume for Mr. Austin Merriweather, but you guys will see that list of applications that we did receive for the 2 supernumerary positions.
okay. I like Rodney Pelt myself.
Yeah, I like Rodney Pelt too.
For one of them, so we need 2.
Okay,
You said nothing came in from
Mr. Merriweather?
Austin, Maryland?
Yes, sir. Now, for Mr. Pelt, did you guys have a preference on which term he filled?
They're both supernumerary, right?
Both supernumerary, one ends in 2026, one ends in 2028.
Is this, I'm sorry, I haven't looked, I apologize. Is that the Joe Robinson?
Joe Robinson is on this list, yes, sir.
The one that's from here, they work different?
No, it's the same one.
Oh, okay.
It's Joe Robinson, and he was city engineer for
He would be
many,
qualified.
many years. I would like to put up Rodney Pelt and Joe Robinson.
Okay, did you guys have a preference on who went to which term?
I put Rodney's the youngest, so let's give him the longest.
Okay.
Joe's in good health.
Hey, when you have birthdays like I just recently had, you think about things like that.
All right, so the last one that we have, it is for Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. We are still accepting resumes for Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Today is actually the last day to submit your resume if you have not already. If you guys remember, we initially talked about having 2 positions that needed to be filled. Actually, it's looking like 1. However, this is for Ms. Samira Snoddy. Based on their new bylaws, she is not eligible to be reappointed. So that would be the one that you guys would be looking to fill. And then the one for Dennis Connor, he is eligible to be reappointed. So if you guys want to reappoint Dennis Connor and then find one other person, we can do that.
Okay, so how many positions do we have? 2?
So if you guys reappoint Dennis Connor, you would only have 1. If you don't want to
And
reappoint
Samira
Dennis
can't be
Connor,
reappointed.
Samira cannot be reappointed.
Can't be
I
reappointed.
want to nominate Jeff Knox from the YMCA.
Okay?
Is he
I believe
He
he's already
submitted,
submitted
right?
his, yes, sir. But today at 5 is the deadline if there's anyone who
Okay,
has
so why
not
don't we get
submitted.
the resumes for next week?
Yes.
And then I personally love to see Dennis Connor reappointed. Does anybody
Does
have?
he want to be reappointed?
Yes, he does.
He does?
Yes. Okay, so I'll collect those and then we'll go over those next week.
You're here. Y'all good with reappointing Dennis Connor? And then we'll get the resumes.
One, if,
We'll get the resumes for next Tuesday for the other position.
all right, that's all I have.
Okay. And did you ever find out, Randy, if
Okay, so your position is good.
if they roll off, do they have to stay off one term? Or how?
So they have to stay off for at least 1 term. 1 term would be for a full 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes.
Did y'all hear that? So if they can't be reappointed like Samara, whoever it is, they have to wait 4 years, and then they could be
Reapply.
appointed back.
Okay.
But, so why don't we get those resumes, and decide the other one for next Tuesday?
Works for me.
But if anybody have any trouble, any problems with go ahead and reappointing Dennis Connor?
He wants to be reappointed.
He does.
Okay, okay.
I'm cool with that, yeah.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. All righty. Mr. Bobbitt.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Holmes is out of town today, so I'm filling in for him.
He's at the State Fair in Texas.
He is indeed. He is indeed. Beginning on your short agenda, resolutions and ordinances not of a general nature, permanent operation, beginning on page 26, should be authorizing the purchase of equipment, supplies, or services for TPD in Kentucky Arts Festival. That comes to you from purchasing. On page 27, you'll be authorizing the execution of consulting agreement with Industrial Organizational Solutions for human resources assessment, promotional processes for the Tuscaloosa Police Department. That was heard last week, admin. On page 28, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute addendums number 2 and 3 to the work authorization with Atkins Realis for the cargo overflow ramp project at the Tuscaloosa National Airport. That was heard at projects last week. Page 29, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Tri-State Abatement in the amount of $5,850. That was likewise heard at projects last week. Page 30, authorizing fiscal year 2026 as needed minor public works contract with Civil Works Construction, amount not to exceed $30,000. That was heard at projects last week. Page 31, authorizing a minor public works contract with DMF Inc. for a total of $62,320, excuse me. That was heard at projects last week. Page 32, authorizing a minor public works contract with MAC Environmental LLC, total of $22,700. That was heard at projects as well. Page 33, authorizing a minor public works contract with Red Oak Paint Company LLC, not to exceed $6,000. That was heard last week at projects. Page 34, you'll be authorizing disbursement from District 6 improvement funds for Eastwood Medical School for $3,000. That was heard at finance last week. Page 35, authorizing an amendment to the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter operating agreement. For the amended agreement not to exceed $80,000. That was heard at projects last week. Page 36, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a municipal funding agency. It's been a long morning. I apologize. Let's start over, Hal, shall we? Authorizing the mayor to execute the municipal agency funding agreement with the Tuscaloosa Spay and Neuter Incentive Program, an amended agreement of $3,850, an increase of $2,830. That was heard at finance. Page 37, you're authorizing the mayor to execute a municipal agency funding agreement with the Tuscaloosa Symphony Orchestra. The amended agreement is $24,700, a $3,000 increase. That was heard at finance. Then on page 38, authorizing the mayor to execute the municipal agency funding agreement with Theater Tuscaloosa. The amended agreement amount of $20,000, an increase of $5,000. That was heard at finance last week. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions of a general nature, permanent operation. You'll be authorizing amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2026 general fund budget. That was heard at finance last week. That was on page 39. On page 40 to 41, you will be declaring real property surplus and no longer needed for municipal purposes. That was heard at properties last week. Page 42, you also be declaring property surplus and no longer needed for municipal purposes. That was heard that's coming from our office, rather. Page 40 to 43 to 46, you'll be amending sections 21-84 and 21-85 of the Code of Tuscaloosa. This is non-consensual towing fees. That was approved by admin last week. 47 to 48, you'll be authorizing section 2156 to be amended of code. That was rotation record fees. That was heard last week at admin. Page 49 and 50, you'll be adopting a severe weather preparedness sales tax holiday for certain covered items for 2026, and that was heard at finance last week. As the mayor said, we do have 2 items for executive session. Do you have any questions for me?
For somebody, when will the tax holiday be?
It is next spring, isn't that right?
It's on, yeah.
April, March or April, is it
It's
not?
February.
February?
Okay. February 20th.
February
22nd.
Okay. I was only off by a month, so.
Yeah, any questions, Mr. Bobbitt? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We have projects 2:30, finance 3, public safety at 3:30. Council meeting, of course, at 5. See, personnel board will meet Thursday. Fire and police pension has been rescheduled for Monday, October 20th. Planning and zoning, of course, on Monday, October the 20th. Any other comments, communication from anybody? I want to introduce this is Paxton Tyner. He's my cousin. I think it's okay to say that.
It's not his fault.
No, but he's doing like the mayor did. He's getting his master's in public administration, and so he just wanted to come and see how local government runs. And so it's good to have you here. It's good to see him. Always been real disappointed. Always been. Too bad he wasn't here. If you.
Council,
It was-
before we go, I do wanna say thank you to, PPD and, to the Sheriff's Department for talking with the cop, that was real estate, and Mr. Phil for coming out. We had a good turnout, a lot of people from around the area showed up, so I just wanna say thank y'all again.
Okay, good. So, is there a motion we go into executive session? Okay, Mr. Bobbitt?
Thank you, sir. As the city's deputy city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I certify that the following items are appropriate to be discussed in executive session regarding the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated, or imminently likely to be litigated if the government body pursues a proposed course of action. And also to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters or trade or commerce in which the government body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama or in other states or foreign nations, or to discuss matters or information pertaining to the Alabama Trade Secrets Act.
Okay, we have a motion second for executive session.